So this is my room before, and I'm going to build the Billy bookcase bookshelves here from IKEA. So I've built this base on the carpet. I've already taken off the baseboard and I put that in a different video. And then I have my first Billy bookcase here, and I put 2 extenders on top of it. And when I was adding these on the base, they just weren't straight. I should have probably taken more care when putting on the base, so I just wedged some wood in there. And here we are finding the studs in the wall, and we are just screwing the bookshelves together as well as screwing them into those studs. I have screwed these boards to the wall and also to the bookcase. That way I can place this piece of wood to cover up my empty space on both sides of the wall, and I'll just use a nail gun to nail it into that. So now on both sides, I used a nail gun and nailed this board on each side to where I had put the wood. I did that on both sides, and then I put up my top baseboard using the nail gun, as well as I put my baseboard back up on the wall. I ripped up the carpet. That way I can just have a carpenter come in here, stretch out the carpet because it needs to be stretched, and put it back with a new tack strip. And then I also have this gap down here, so the best thing I could do is just nail this piece of wood on top of the baseboard, and I'm just gonna try to caulk that. And then on both sides where the wall connects, I put in a little molding to cover up the gap, and then as well as all the gaps in between each bookshelf, I covered up with a rounded piece of molding. And then here is where I'm putting my cabinet doors. And so I just did an iron-on veneer tape here. That way, when the bookshelves are on, it doesn't look like they're two separate bookshelves. When the cabinet doors are on, it doesn't look like there's any separation because the cabinet doors will meet right here. So you'll be able to see a little bit, and it will just look like it's all one piece. I ended up using 3 Billy bookcases and 2 of the thinner ones, and they each have 2 extenders on top. So next I went in and puttied all of this. Using like wood filler would have probably been better, but then I puttied the seams there, and I also went in with some caulk to fill in any gaps I had, as well as I had some gaps down here, putting in the baseboard. And now I'm on to painting, and I'll paint the shelves and the cupboards before I put them up. So I will be back with the final results. So we have finished painting, put up the shelves, and put on the cupboard doors. But you'll notice when I put up all of these shelves, so I put up 2 shelves and then 2 shelves in the cupboards, it scraped off a lot of paint. So I'll have to do a lot of touch-ups. And this is because I had put the bookshelves right next to each other and screwed them together. So there was no give putting in these shelves. They were very tight. If I could do it back again, I would have put the shelves in first and then painted, even though it was hard with these shelves that are more permanent up top that I did paint with them in. It was hard to get the paint sprayer back there. It took about 3 coats to get all the spots I had missed, but it would have been much better to deal with that than this for all of these shelves that I've put up here. Got that paint touched up, and I've come in and added just these little things for the cupboard doors, and that is the finished product for the Billy bookcase hack.